Hello, everyone. Hello out there.
Hi.
Hey,
How are
we
you?
want to welcome you all today to another episode of Let's Chit Chat About Money. So, look, it's been a little bit. We're happy to be back. I'm happy to have my sister on the other side, my sister friend. Hey, girl.
Happy to have you too. Did you
Hey.
have a good vacation last week? Or, well, it wasn't a vacation, but a conference. Did you enjoy your conference last week?
I did. Anytime I get a chance to learn more tricks of the trade, learn from, other top brokers in the world, how they do this money
Mhm.
game, I'm always up for that. So it was
So,
fun. It was a good time. It was a week ago. It's always exciting. What you been up to?
good.
How was your week?
So my week has been awesome. Working as usual, meeting new people, networking, telling people about our products, just
Awesome.
taking care of
Awesome.
family and just doing all that good stuff.
Yeah.
With
Good,
multitasking.
good. I know. I know we have, of course, like I said, we're on our show today, and we started kind of like a new series in July.
Mhm.
So with July, we were talking about love, relationships, and money, how all of that fits in, and what could be the four deadly transgressions when you mix money, finance, and relationships. And honestly, it's been a great conversation. It's something that we have to figure out. We all have to learn to grow and learn together and adapt to each other. So I think it's been a fun series so far. What you
Yeah,
think?
I think so too. I think it's been awesome. It seemed like it's gone by so
Yeah,
fast. The weeks and days go by so fast.
I
I can't
know.
believe it's almost. I mean, it's already the end of July. We're getting ready to go into August on
The
Monday.
end of
So
July, we're going into August.
I know August 1st is
Crazy.
Monday. Yeah. So,
August 1st.
but we got some
Yeah.
good stuff coming for
So,
next month. So yeah, we're gonna end the
oh,
series
we do.
today, and we're gonna have some uh, good stuff for our audience now next week. So yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm
So,
excited about it. We want you all to
yeah,
tune in.
I'm
Make sure.
excited too. I am too. So, of
Yeah.
course, just to kick it off with a little recap, on week
Yeah.
one, we talked about love and relationships. Now, we
Hmm.
all know when love gets involved, we can be a fool for love. And so
Yeah.
the idea was, okay, what if you meet your mate and they're in that space between where they are now and where they're going? And do you
Right.
consider them broke or building? And either way, you can be broke and still be building, but the idea is to meet in the middle, right? So
Right.
that was week one. Our second one was on lies, actually. And we know lies can be something terrible. When people are telling you untruths, it can really change. It can really change outcomes. It can change outcomes for the individual, but, financially, lies can be detrimental in a relationship. So
Yeah.
today, hope y'all are ready. We're going to talk about greed. And so we're actually going to combine the last two. So here, today we're talking about love and relationships and greed. So it's time for the ultimate unmasking. So we're going to get into it today. We're actually going to combine greed and envy and put those together and just kind of have a little talk. We're just going to have a little chit chat. And
Yeah.
so we'll just kind of go from there. So, Dr. Renee, let me ask you something. When I
Mhm.
say greed, what's the first thing? What comes to mind when you say greed? When I say greed in general.
When I hear the word greed, for some reason I just think of greedy comes to my mind. That's the first word that comes to my mind with greed is greedy.
Mhm.
Um, and
Yeah.
that's just wanting more and more and more. You're not satisfied with what you have. So it's a desire to just
Right.
have more. And it
Right.
breeds negative ambitious ambitions. And so
Mhm.
that's what comes to my mind when I think of greed. It's just
Yeah.
it's negative. Yeah, just want more
Yeah.
and more and more. Yeah.
Yeah. And we
You
kind of talk
know,
about.
it's like when you go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sis. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
I
It
was
was.
gonna
Go ahead. I
say,
think it was a little delay on my side. So go ahead.
you know when you go shopping, if you go shopping, you go buy a purse, and it's a purse that
Mhm.
you always want, like the Louis Vuitton. I always say the Louis Vuitton because it's like one of my favorite brands. So you
Right.
want the Louis Vuitton, and then you get, you may get the doctor's bag. They come in different, styles and names. So you may get the doctor's bag, and then once you get the doctor's bag, you like, let me see if I can get the other bag, get this or the bigger, even the bigger doctor's bag or the other bag. And so it's like you're never satisfied with what you have. And that's to me considered greedy because you
Right.
want more.
Right. But can you think of how that could really impact relationships if I'm focused and I'm like, okay, me and my partner, we have goals to achieve. But what if you behind my back, not you, but I'm saying whoever my partner was out here just spending money frivolously. And there can be greed, of course, individually, and it can take a toll on things. So, we kind of just want to talk about that and reflect that. But look, I'm glad Dr. Renee here brought up some different ideals about greed. Now, just I know here we're talking about greed in relationships and with individuals, but there are so many other players out here that can also have greed. And, I don't know how y'all feel. I'm not really sure what y'all believe, as far as even the Bible goes, but the Bible even talks about greed and how, the love of money can really lead to, it can lead you on a trail of doing some things that maybe aren't the greatest for you, aren't the greatest for, your future. And so, we just need to find some ways to be on task. But in order for us to come out and be successful, we need to figure out some things. So, if an individual can be greedy, of course, there are other parties, like I said, that can be greedy. Another party that can be that people don't think about is the banks. The banks itself can be greedy. I mean, I don't know if y'all realize it, but a lot of times, the bank itself, they offer you a place for you to come put your money. Like, okay, store it here, no problem. We'll keep up with everything for you. We'll give you a card, for you to swipe just swipe everywhere you go. You don't have to worry about keeping up with cash. You're good. We'll take care of everything and go from there. But let me ask y'all something. Have y'all ever seen somebody really do a favor like that? Especially not really somebody, because people do good things for other people. But institutional wise, have you ever seen large institutions really do something nice for free? No.
No,
Usually there is something behind it. And so,
right.
we're here just to kind of, since we taking off, we unmasking it all, we are going to unmask too what the banks are doing behind the scenes. So,
Right.
as we teach our clients, you bring your money to the bank, you put it there, it's safe. But guess what? You think your money is somewhere sitting, probably in a vault somewhere, collecting dust. No, that's not the case. It's actually in a compound interest account, the same compound interest account that we help our clients with. So
Right.
think about it. How cool is that? Um, you know, Either one or the other of us is going to get this compound interest. And on some levels, if you think about it, the bank, of course, is being really greedy with our money. Like they're making large sums of money. And so,
Mhm.
Dr. Renee, I guess before I proceed forward, like, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, I met with a banker this week. She's actually a private, well, she works in the private wealth department. I won't say what bank, but we talked briefly, and I was, kind of telling her a little bit about what I do as a financial
Mhm.
professional. And I was like, well, tell me a little bit more about the savings accounts here. She said, well, our savings accounts, they do build compound interest. So she was telling me that they
They
have
do.
yeah, she said all savings accounts. It was something new for me. So I'm like, wait a minute, let me check this. So she said, yes, all savings accounts have compound
Mhm.
interest. However, they do not perform like the accounts that we have. So she says all of the
Baby,
savings
you know
accounts.
what I read? You know what I read in between? You know what I read in between those lines? Exactly what we just said. All these accounts get compound interest. You might not see it, but somebody out here is getting it. So, if you're not seeing it in your account, it's showing up in somebody's account, and it's
Right.
for doggone sure the bank's account, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
So
that's
I was really surprised.
that's
Learned
funny
something
you
new
had
today.
this conversation with her.
Huh?
Well, really, in theory, you ain't really learned something new. She just
Well,
just
I
shit
didn't. I mean, I
around. I
didn't
mean,
learn something. Well, I just wasn't. I didn't. I really, to be honest, I did not know that because when I put my money, a couple years ago in the savings account, I didn't know I was building compound interest. I had no clue. I mean, because it wasn't accumulating.
well,
I mean, it
typically,
was
when compound
accumulating, but it was
interest
very
comes into
small. I'll
play,
put it that
it
way.
ain't no.
It was very, very small. It wasn't much. It wasn't much accumulation in a year's
Let me
time.
tell y'all something. The most I have seen on my bank statements when I did have money, real money in the bank, was like 3 cents interest.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
I would love, honey, I'm glad I wasn't there because I would have challenged her with questions. I just
yeah.
would have had to see what she had to say. But she just, in theory, she did not lie. Every account, your checking account and your savings account is earning compound interest. You're not
Compound
seeing the
interest.
dividends, but the banks are. And so,
Right.
there
That's
is an
that's
actual
so good.
website.
Right.
Yeah, there's an actual website out there that actually talks about how much money these individual banks make off of us. Believe it or not, Bank of America, very, very famous bank. There's a website where you can look this up. The reason why I'm throwing this out here is because it is public knowledge. So if you know where to look for it, you can find it. They actually have a real time ticker of how much money they have made off of these compound interest accounts. Keep in mind, banks have
Mhm.
no money on their own, period. Like, honestly,
Right.
they use the people's money, they use other people's money. But Bank of America made over 24 billion with a B in 1 year off of everybody's money. Think about all the people who have a little bit of money and a lot of money dropping it off at Bank of America, and they're loving it. They're right. So
Right.
your account's getting compound interest. You're just not seeing it because you have
Right.
the wrong type of account.
Exactly
So
right.
they actually have the same type of account that is protected by tax codes. They actually don't have to report this money and they get to keep it. It is perfectly legal. And so
Right.
we're here to blow the top off of all of that because y'all need to know what's going on with your money because that way you can actually take control of the situation. If you think about it, it's a tug of war out here. Somebody's
It
going
is.
to win. There's no tie in here. Somebody's going to win. So, the idea is for you to win out and get your compound interest back. They made it off of your money. Even Chase Bank, just throwing it out there. Chase Bank is number one. Chase Bank is sitting at a cool 38 billion in a year. Can you imagine this is I mean, that's the ultimate stick up if you think about it.
Yeah.
I made, if I was the bank, I'm like, if I'm Chase Bank, I'm billion off of y'all. And they credit 38 billion, sorry, with a
Yeah.
B.
Yeah.
That is a
That's
B.
a lot of money. And another thing I think we talked about this in one of our earlier shows was how
Mhm.
banks make a lot of money off of what is it when you have those fees? The return check
So they
fees?
do have banking
Yeah, what are they
fees.
called?
Yeah.
What are they
Yep.
called? Return check fees?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so they make
Uh-huh.
a lot of money off of that. I think it was around maybe $3 million, maybe more than that, probably 3 billion, but it was in the three something. But that's another way
Right.
to keep you at a lower level, because if
Yeah,
you paying all those fees, you can't. It's hard to get ahead. It's hard to really save. It's hard to do anything because they're taking all your money.
it is.
Uh,
It
so
is. And that's crazy to think that they don't have any money, but let your account go under $5. They will be charging you $35, whatever fee that they can come up with. They're gonna
it's called
charge you for it.
insufficient funds. Insufficient funds
Insufficient
fee.
funds, even though your money was sufficient enough to create a nice income. Oh, you know. Yes, yes, yes. You are. I don't know
And
that. Now that I think about it, I almost think maybe they're crying foul because we don't have any more of your money to use, so we're going to charge you. Crazy.
yeah, it's
But
terrible.
just to point something out, I had a little example too of how greedy they really are. So not
Mhm.
only are they making this 38, this Chase Bank made this 38 billion, because they
Mhm.
do have something called there is something called bank owned life insurance, believe it or not. It is the acronym for it is BOLI. And it's really, really cool. The fact that, okay, you can take money, and a lot of people don't realize life insurance is a tax shelter in and of itself. These
Right.
places put, their money in this account, and it's what they call a tier one asset, the safest place you can have your money. So not only is it safe, but it's undergoing a large amount of compound interest, and they are really profiting. But how you brought up the insufficient funds, they're making money off of if your account goes under, banking fees, they charge you that. Also, if you think about it, we work so hard for $1 every single day. We work, it's our money. But there are some financial thieves out here. So how we talked about greed, the same way that other these institutions are kind of trying to get you trapped, we got to find a way to get out of it. Other people too don't realize that you know a third of your money actually goes to the bank regardless. When I say to the bank, I mean it's in the form of loans of some kind. So banking loans, car loans, mortgage loans. They're making money off of that. They are recirculating the money that they made off of you and loaning it back out. So if you have a loan with a lot of these places, car loan, mortgage loan, each one is separate. If you had a car loan, that would be a third of your money. If you had a mortgage loan, that's a third of your money. So technically, I'm grouping these together, but let's just say a third of it's gone, right? We have two
Mhm.
thirds left. Now, what are we going to do with the other two thirds? Now, a third of this is going to Uncle Sam, good old Uncle Sam here. So we just going to fold this back. It's going in the form of what? Taxes. And I mean, they're
Yeah.
going to get their money. Don't you worry. I mean, you have
Yeah.
property tax. You have your food. Anything you have out here is going to have
It's
tax,
right.
income
Yeah.
tax. They're going to get their
Yeah.
money back. And so
Mhm.
a lot of people don't realize too, credit cards can account for a lot of that. That can be kind of swirled in with banking or government, but a lot
Mhm.
of people really don't know for every credit card that you have open and that you have maxed out, that's another third of a dollar. So
Yeah.
think about the regular American family. They usually have maybe three credit cards, three, four credit cards. Let's just say they're maxed out. And let's just say you have a car loan and you have a house loan. And let's just say you have two cars. So husband, wife, a home and four credit cards. That is 7 thirds gone. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you can see, we're out of dollars. We're gone. So if you
Yeah.
already have, if a regular American family has seven of these thirds gone, and we only started with, a third, no wonder we're so far in debt. Like we are, it's almost like a hole that it's tough to climb out of.
It's
And
true.
so I don't know. What you think about that here? Robbing us. Robbing.
I think it's
Crazy.
terrible. I think it's terrible that our system robs us the way that it does, but it claims to help us at the same time. So it's not helping us at all. It's taking all of our money.
Not at all.
That's
Not
why
at all.
and so want to educate people and let them know that there's other opportunities out there. There's other means of investing their money so they can have money for their future, for their children. And that's why we talk about this every week so that we can educate people on the difference between what the banks are doing, what we can offer, our clients, who offer our clients and prospective clients.
Right.
Yeah, so
and
very important.
You brought up the word investment. Just throwing this out here. A lot of people don't realize, with the type of accounts that we help our clients with, believe it or not, it's not considered an investment. So that how much money you want to put away for yourself every month. And by law, because like I said, you got to know these tax laws to really know what you're doing. But if you have an account where there are gains and there are losses, that is considered an investment. But what if you had an account that never lost? Like you decide how much money that you're going to put away. That money gets to just go up with the market, never down, just up. And then when the market does pull back, it locks in place. That's not an investment. And also with the compound interest, your account's just going up. That's not an investment. So a lot of people don't know that if you have gains and losses, you trigger taxes because that is a definition of an investment. But what we do is not considered an investment. And it's protected by, a beautiful summary of tax codes. Let me say previously, I did not enjoy tax codes. They never worked against me. I mean, they never worked for me. You know what I'm saying? Like for somebody to come and say, you owe me a third of your money, pay me this. Yeah, it's an extra fee for that. I'm like, gee whiz, I'm getting robbed left and right. I had to learn. That's because the type of account I had, the tax codes just weren't in my favor. And so that has been the key, honestly. Not only having this account, but this is really the only account. And I'm telling y'all this little secret right here between me and you, sis, while we're talking. This is the only account that is protected by those amazing tax codes.
Right.
So think about it, you're using. So it would be different if it just said, oh, you only get the downside. No, you only get the upside. How amazing. And all that money gets to grow compound interest, liquid. You can go get it. And I mean, people are really getting ahead. We're getting ahead. Our clients are getting ahead. They're just happy, just excited. Right. And I am too. It's an excited subject.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So how do we, merge this back into our relationships, greed and relationships, and how do we culminate the two with greed, money, and all of this stuff we're talking about?
So I have a great idea. This actually, on my part, to actually do a little bit of planning. I would have to sit down because, of course, we gotta enjoy the sweet. We gotta enjoy both sides. It's okay. Life is, life can be hard. It's okay to splurge. You want that Louis Vuitton bag, that wallet? It's okay, sis. You work for it. Like, don't feel bad. Now, don't go get 20 of them. Don't bring 20 back here. Now, that's another story. But, what if, just throwing this out here, if we could meet in the middle here, and like I said, allow ourselves to live a little and also allow ourselves to put back. Or what if we just planned and said, you know what, as a family, we're going to, decide how much money we're going to put up for ourselves. And once we get to a certain point, then we'll splurge something because we really did something. Like, how cool would that be if that was a reward factor? Like, okay, we saved this much money. Now I can go get, that Louis bag that I wanted as reward. What if we did it that way? What do you think?
Yeah. I think that's a very good tactic to use. I know as I was reading earlier, I was reading an article and it was talking about basically that it talked about greed in relationships and how one person, how when you first meet that guy, you think, he's so cute, you spend time with them and you're like, I want to see him again, tomorrow or the next day. But this in your mind, but this guy doesn't know that you're thinking that, and so
right.
You want to spend time with him, and then after you spend time with him again the second time, the next time you want to go on a date, you plan a date in your mind, but he doesn't know that. So it's like you're always planning, but the other person don't even know what you got going on, So it's basically essentially the same thing, and it just keeps going. You want more, you want more, you want more, and you want more, but the other person is not even aware of what you want. You have to allow them to say, okay, let's be on the same page, and there's a give and there's a take, So that's the way
it is. But let me ask you your opinion. Okay, do you think that there's a such thing as a good form of greed? Like, what do you think? Is there a such thing as a good form of greed, or is there a good form of envy?
Let's see. So I'm gonna be frank with you. With this account, I think it is for me because I want more and more in my account. You know what I mean? So, yes, for me, yes, because I know what my money is gonna do for me while I'm asleep. I know that I can put money in there, and if I wanted to get a new, you can borrow the money from yourself. So if you want a new car, you go get the money. You don't have to go to a bank. You're your own bank. So yes, I want this. Yes, I feel like in that aspect, yes, I do feel like, I am being greedy. I'm being greedy to my, because I want more money in this account because I want to build more compound interest. For as
and that's amazing.
Huh?
I said, honestly, that's amazing. I would definitely say that's a good form of greed.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that way. Envy, I don't know. So if you envy, to me, when I think of envy, you want something that somebody else has.
Right.
It all depends on how you can want what they have, but not to the point that it becomes ugly. To me, it could be a motivating factor. Say, oh, they have this type of house, this type of car. So let me see what I can do to work towards getting that same thing, but not be like, oh, I hate on them because they have a new house or a new car. You know what I'm saying? So I think it could be that way. But to be envious of somebody is to be envious just being ugly because you want something, but you can work hard and get the same thing. So, no. Right. But if you're envious and it motivates you to do more, then
yeah. Now, let me say, I have never thought of myself as an envious person. Like we're all human, but I've never thought of myself as an envious person. When I think on it, though, there have been times that I was envious. Like I said, in the beginning, I'm a pharmacist by trade. So by career, I've been a pharmacist for 13 years. When I was in school, I envied other pharmacists. I'm like, geez, they're where I'm supposed to be or where I'm trying to go. They're doing well. Everything looks great. And then I get there and it's like, wow, I thought it was going to be one way, but not really. And, you get so busy sometimes, you're so working, so, so work focused, so career focused. You end up trusting other people to handle your finances and other affairs. Because look, I'm working, I'm busy, I got stuff to do. And, it's cool to delegate, but it really pays to know what's going on. As I will say, even though I've worked as a pharmacist for 13 years, people assume that you should be in a certain place. But if you don't know, like I said, how money really works and how to really maneuver your money, it can really take a toll on you. So I will say at different times I look, even in my pharmacy career, geez, other people seem to be doing so much better and I'm not. And so that little bit of envy kind of triggered me to go, I'm like, I need to go find out. Me getting my statements from this little 401k that my company set up, I know I'm contributing. Okay, cool. It looks all right, but I feel like I should be farther. And so, that little bit of envy triggered me to go. I'm like, I gotta go find out for myself because I'm tired of other people knowing something that I don't know.
Right.
And that envy,
Yeah.
really, I would say hard work and
That's that
drive
motivating.
along with
That's
that.
that motivation. That motivating envy is, I mean, envy. So
Yeah.
that made you motivated to want to learn more, to know more about your finances, and that's awesome. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say it's been life changing. And so I don't know how many people out there kind of think the same way, who maybe need a change, who are tired of living paycheck to paycheck. And sometimes that still happens, but at least my money's working for me. The most important thing that I have learned, instead of you working so hard to make every dollar, and then you have all these outside factors, you got these financial thieves out here, you got the bank, Uncle Sam, you have inflation that's out here robbing us. Let's start to do something different. And the only way to really get past that is a compound interest account, like how we help our clients with, and how the wealthiest 1% of the world use. So, that's my little take. I just wanted to tell y'all, sometimes I'm not always Mary Poppins over here. Sometimes,
I mean, none of us are.
sometimes I
We
might
all
have a little
our
bit of envy,
struggle.
but, it's a good kind.
Yes. Yes. Most definitely. Most definitely. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought I felt like this was such a safe place. I said, let me tell them the real of the real of what's going on.
Sounds like
yeah.
transparency, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So where do you think we should be taking this when, where do you think we can go to find a good balance, or how should we deal with things in relationships when it comes to like I said, greed and envy? And like I said, we already said there's a little bit of good greed and a little bit of, good greed and good envy. But what do you think, sis?
Could you repeat that question one more time, sis? I'm sorry, you kind of went out on me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just asking you really what you thought, like if you had a different take than me. Like I said, I was just sharing my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know if you had a different take on greed and envy.
Well, I mean, I'm with you on that. I do agree with you 100%. Same thing. I just feel like in a relationship, you want to be on the same page financially, and you want to, because if you're not, or if the other person is progressing and you're not, and then that causes resentment, that could cause greed. And so I think it's very important that you have a financial, like I said, you be on the same page, and you're able to communicate about your goals together, in what way you want to go, so you can build financial, wealth for you and your family, so that won't cause any resentment. Yeah. And then also that, also too, when you have, when we talk about the lion and the envy, the lion part is when you are, you're just not being honest about you spending too much money. You're shopping too much. You're eating out too much, and I mean, it's not healthy. It's not healthy for a relationship. I mean, it's okay to eat out. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, sometimes it can be just too much. I prefer to cook. I love being at home cooking, and I know what I'm preparing. But I just think it's very important that you don't spend, just so much money out, and just not conscious of what you're doing. It's very important to be conscious of what you're spending and how you're managing your money. So
yeah.
I don't know if I
want to know people.
Huh?
No, I got it. I don't know if people realize that, of course, lies in relationship, greed in relationship, and envy. Like I said, I don't know. They can cause a lot of issues, and so ultimately, a lot of times this comes from you hiding your stuff from other people. And
Mhm.
so technically, you are lying to yourself. You
Mhm.
are also putting yourself in a bad position. I mean, getting those credit card statements and, you're paying, way more money than you ever paid for those shoes or that bag.
Oh
It
yes.
is a realization. It's an
Mhm.
almost come to yourself moment like, Lord, what did I do?
That come to
But,
Jesus moment.
you know, yes, that come to Jesus, like, Lord Jesus, please help me, give me a little extra. What are those? It can easily spin out of control. And so
Mhm.
we just kind of want to help people get control of their finances, get control of knowing, knowing how money works. And if you don't have time to do that, if you have a good CPA or a good financial advisor, you should cherish them. But if they
Yeah.
never talk about, tax codes or reducing your tax liability, because taxes are huge. I mean, I don't
Yes.
know if people realize how much of their money goes out the window in
Mhm.
taxes. And it's something that
Yeah.
you have to do. But, there are ways that things can be structured where, like I said, other people might have to deal with it, but you don't. And so it's time
Right.
to work a little bit smarter. Instead of us working so hard and out here spending every dime and every one of our dollars is out the window, we need to start putting our money in a vehicle and make that vehicle the workhorse. So a
Right.
vehicle where the tax codes are working for you and make that the workhorse. So
And
I know that's what I'm working on here. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and also too that also, the banks are using the same vehicle that we're telling our listening audience about too. They use the same vehicle of investment. They invest your money in the same type of account that we put our clients in. So that should be an eye opener by itself. That you're in, you need to look
Mhm.
into more of. It's not an investment, but it's an account that's where they put their monies in one of these accounts. So, and we talked about this in a couple of shows earlier on. So,
Mhm.
just want to
Yeah.
reiterate that.
Yeah. And I don't know if people realize, so of course we kind of hit on a couple of different types of greed, but even we've lived out our lives, the government and the banks have, robbed us blind the whole time, whether we knew it or not, it was a stick up the whole time. And then what happens, you don't even think about the day that you leave this earth, there's another type of greed that can happen. And people don't think about this: probate and lawsuits. And there have been quite a few people, some very, very famous, where their money after they passed, they amassed a nice wealth portfolio, so to speak. They had money, but they ended up, they didn't protect it the way that it was supposed to. And somebody came after that money. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you can think of anybody off top. I can think of one that's been lately, but I don't know. Do
Mhm.
you remember seeing anybody in the news in particular
I
that
do.
had
I
this
do.
issue?
His name is I went blank there, but his name, he played in Black Panther.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Good old Chadwick Boseman.
Chad. Oh my goodness. Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, Chad Boston. Yeah, yeah. So
yes,
that was so
yes.
unfortunate that we lost all that money to the courts, and I mean that could have
It
been money
was.
that he could have had more money for his family.
Yeah, he had a new, of course, a new wife. That was his longtime girlfriend. He still has family that's there. That money was supposed to go to take care of them. But by the time they went to court, and people don't realize, if somebody cries foul and say you owe me, you don't get to just say, no, I don't, and move on. Somebody files, papers in court that you owe them. You owe them for back taxes. They want to get some money from you. Maybe you did, I don't know, you borrowed some money from them and you never paid them back, and they want to get it in debt. They can take you to probate. And Chadwick Boseman's wife, I want to say out of his fortune, maybe walked away with a third or a little less than, of his money. And that's crazy that all of that was lost in probate court when it could have
Wow.
been protected. So if it had been in a vehicle like that type that we have,
Mhm.
we would have been good to go.
Yeah. And also Prince, who died in 2016, he did not leave a will. And since then, his lawyers and consultants have been paid tens of millions of dollars to administer his estate and come up with a plan for its distribution. Thank you, Michael. So that's awesome.
Sorry about that.
Example. Yeah, it's an awesome example. It's unfortunate, though. You
Sorry
would think
about
that Prince had a will, you know?
a lot of people don't realize, yeah, wills help, but think about, if you could have your fortune and you used it while you were living and you designated someone and they got all the money you had, plus all the money that grew from it that was left over, plus a legacy benefit passed on to them, all tax free. What a game changer. Talk about a legacy to be given. And so we do need to focus on legacy, especially with our families.
That's
So
true.
I mean, that's just been my take.
And
But people
starting
don't
with
really
our children.
realize.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, you're
And
good.
yeah, and starting with our children, our small children, building accounts for them and allowing them to have the wealth. If it's because as we age, it's always more expensive a lot of times to you know have certain accounts because because it goes by your age. But if you have children, you start them off young, investing in accounts, not investing, but using those accounts for them, and then that way they'll have that money as they get older for college or for starting a new business, and they'll already be prepared for the future, financially. And so it won't be such a
Yeah.
struggle when they get ready to go off to school. You're trying to, buy school supplies or buy, pay for college tuition. So that can get very expensive. But if we
It
start
can.
early, we can,
Mhm.
we have a better chance, I feel.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a saying that, I mean, I've seen Warren Buffett say it too, that, some child is sitting in the shade today for a tree planted by somebody else a long time
Right.
ago. It takes a little while for those seeds to be planted sometimes and for those seeds to grow, but they will manifest. And so for children, just throwing this out here, we do have accounts that is for, for this type of account. And so, like I said, same type of account, you just pay into it for a certain amount of time. And think about it. If you have a 1 year old, if you paid in it for 20 years until they were 21 and just let the account just snowball, this account is good for most people up until age 120 to 122. Think about all the different things that could happen to this child in between, and where
Yeah.
he or she's gonna need money.
Yeah.
And like, how cool is that somebody started off that account for them? But guess what? The child can use it. But if mom or dad has a hard time, they can fall back on this account too.
Yeah.
They are owners of the account and they can use that as well. And so how super cool is that? And just to throw this out here too, we did talk about Chadwick Boseman a second ago, but there was another notable person, and he's very, very famous also. He goes by the name of Prince. And one time he was going by the name The Symbol. And so he died in 2000, let's see, 2015 to 2016 or so. That's crazy that it's been that long already and we didn't even realize it. But, he didn't have a will either. And, since then, plenty of lawyers, people have come forward saying, hey, I'm his sister. I'm his 54th cousin. I was supposed to get some of that money. And every time somebody makes the claim, people don't realize that is another claim that has to be cleared in court. It's most likely a bogus claim, but there are some people who really do have legitimate claims. But regardless, protect it. Use these tax codes, where you can avoid probate and avoid losses. And if I want my money to go to my 52nd cousin, I can put down here, look, when I leave here, my 52nd cousin gets that. Like, that is power. Like, really being able to not only maneuver your own finances, but make sure that when I leave here, you're going to be good. My family's going to be good. You're going to be in a better place than I ever was, just by, doing things a little bit different. And so we just need to take the power back. It's time for us to take that back.
And that's helping building, how so, when you go to, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, it's like, when we go to church and you will hear, breaking generational curses from different things in our past. Well, this would be helping breaking generational curses for our financial situations, for our future.
Right.
Because it changed the trajectory of our life or your financial life.
Right. And if you think about it, like I said, I don't know what everybody's religious preference is, but just know in the Bible talks about a good man leaves something for his children's children. Now, a lot of us don't do that. It's not because we don't want to, but we have so many uphill obstacles to basically get over. Financial obstacles. You have sickness that comes up. People don't realize how sickness can derail your finances. Having money there, but not having a mechanism for income replacement. And this account does have that, where if you get sick, or like if you get into a bad car wreck and you can no longer work, you have to have some way of having money and bringing that in. And so you can get a check every single month. And that's a big deal. Think about how many people have jobs where their lives are on the line. Case in point, truck drivers. They drive back and forth, but it's so many moving parts. You can have somebody falling asleep, somebody who not paying attention, and one bad wreck, I didn't check my window, or I didn't check my mirror before I moved over, can really be life-changing in a whole bunch of ways. So we just want to be cognizant of, in life, things will happen. The idea, the real definition of quote unquote insurance is to have someone else on the line for when that happens. This account will do all of that.
That's true.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool, quite amazing. So, I don't know if you want to, if you have anything extra to say just about our topic. I definitely want to tell our parishioners where they could find you, if they are interested in that account. And just so y'all know, we're here in the Tennessee area. We are in Tennessee, but we help anybody. So, I'm going to let Dr. Renee take this. I know I've been talking a lot, y'all, but I'm going to let Dr. Renee, tell what she needs to, and definitely tell the people.
I want to encourage. Oh, I'm sorry, Vernica. I thought you were finished. I didn't mean to be rude.
I am done. I'm through, girl.
Well, I just want to say that I want to encourage people to call us, to email us, to reach out to us. Come by. You can come by my office. My office is address 3661 Brainerd Road, Suite 302, Midtown Insurance and Financial Services. We encourage you to come out, talk to us, set up an appointment. We can do an analyst for you to see where you are, where you need to be. And if you want to join our team, work with us about learning more about financial information, financial services, how to, put your money into one of these accounts, or you can help your family members. We encourage you. We really do encourage our community to come out and want to learn more. During the week, we're going to start doing Zoom meetings or Zoom calls. And so we'll be able to discuss and answer questions. And so we just really, really plead, and encourage people to call us and to reach out to us. And so that's my biggest thing that I want people to do for us Vernicas is to reach
Yeah.
out and because we want to change our community, and we want to teach our community about wealth building. So that's our
Right.
passion.
Right. And let me just say, if anybody out here, if you just tired of doing what you're doing, if you bored, if you want just a change in how, what you do every day, I definitely recommend what we do in financial services. Let me say, I never thought that this would be such an interesting world. I will say, all the other vehicles that I have seen, no shade from other financial advisors. Um, to me now, they are I don't know, they're boring. And if anybody mentions, using any of these other accounts, let me say, I mean, they can tell you can put your money over there, but that's not what wealthy people do. How cool is it if you want to learn from people who have money where to put money? You need to go where those people are and go from
Right.
there.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to, I mean, I know Dr. Renee here has been in, insurance and helping people for a long time. Insurance, she's branched into financial services, and it's so cool how many things that we can do, and just having knowledge and also knowledge applied. And so I just want to encourage anyone also, if you want, if you just need a side job, you need a side out, you making change has to start somewhere. But I can't tell you how many people that I may talk to, and maybe they're factory workers. Nothing wrong with that, but they will just talk about how grueling that is. How being on your feet for these concrete floors, 10 hours, 10, 12 hours a day, every single day, day in and day out, they just can't take it anymore. The money
Right.
might be good, but is it really worth your health and worth your livelihood? And really, you're almost giving up your life if you don't, if you realize it, you'll end up starting one way and look up and it's years later, still in the same place, still not in a better place than what you were before. So I
Right.
just want to encourage people, like, take that nesty plunge. If you want to
Yeah.
know more, look, contact us. We'll give you the real of the real. Yes, we are talking on radio now, but usually when we meet with people, we do diagrams, it's interactive. We explain each part step by step. And typically people are fascinated. They're like,
Ooh, they
wow,
are.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. Now I
Yeah.
understand why this, and this. Yes, now, before you might have had little pieces, but now you're getting the other pieces so you can put this one big puzzle together. And
Right.
it's a really, really cool, cool thing. So let me just let y'all know where you can find me. Of course, I'm on Facebook also, Vernica Murphy. You can also reach me. This is my personal number. This is my office number. But when you call it, you will reach me. You won't get my secretary, any of that. We're going to talk one on one, me and you. And so let me give you my phone number to reach me. It is 1-833-837-6352. Again, that is 1-833-837-6352. Now, if you have a problem remembering numbers, my name is Vernica. Now, it's actually spelled with the numbers that correlate to the letters. So, my name is on the screen. It is Verneka. So you can dial 1-833 Vernica. So if you old school with the old school phones where you had to match up the letters and the numbers, you can still do that. Look, we have a way for you to do that. And so,
That's awesome.
I just want the people to know where to find us. It doesn't cost you a thing to meet with us. This is part of our life work now, explaining to people and helping them. How cool is that to have, a career where we get to help people for fun and they don't have to pay us? Like, it's educational. And honestly, it's literally like coming from darkness into a big land of light in a
Yeah.
good way.
That's
So
true.
I encourage people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you can, like I said, you can do this part time, you can do it full time. Dr. Renee and I do it full time now. But, start somewhere, start learning for yourselves, start learning so that you too can not only break generational curses in your own finances, but start to change the narrative. If you know what to do, now you can start to teach your family what to do. They can be on board with knowing, okay, if this happens, we got to go into plan A. Like, we know what to do with money. And so it's a breath of fresh air, to say the least, I must say.
You're right.
So
And I
yeah.
also want to add too that my agency is hiring. We're looking to partner with licensed life insurance agents. So if you're a life insurance agent, or if you're licensed as a life insurance agent or a health insurance agent, or if you have property and casualty license, you can also reach me at that 800 number. My number again is 855-937-6742, and I am looking to partner with life, health, and property casualty agents in my office.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And one other thing Dr. Renee didn't mention, if you don't have those credentials, you can get them. And we
Yes.
can help you get licensed.
Yes.
Believe it or not, we have discount codes, ways to help you learn digitally. And then you get to come into our group, our family.
Yeah.
And like I said, learn from some of the top brokers in the world, which is super cool, more than dope. And so my mind is blown
Yes.
every time I meet with them. They show me one more thing that I wasn't aware
Yeah.
of. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's been amazing. So yeah.
Awesome.
Well, y'all, look, I just looked up and it's about
Out
our
of
show
time.
is at the end.
Yes.
We're out of
So
time.
I'm looking forward to next week, Bernica. We're gonna have a guest on the show next week. So
We are.
yes, we're gonna talk about legal services,
Oh.
and so maybe the community may need some legal services. So
Ooh.
we'll have someone on the show. So we're gonna kind of shift gears here a little bit for the next couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to. I'm very excited about it, and he's excited about coming on the show next week. Yeah. So
Sounds good. I mean, that's what we're for. Yeah. I mean, we're all for progression and people finding out the information that they need and having the resources. So I'm excited for it too. Look, I don't know who this guest is. I don't think, but look, I'm looking forward to finding out. I'm already in suspense. So yeah. Well, look, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So yes. So until next week, until we chit chatting about some more money. It look like next week we're gonna be chit chatting about a little bit of legal affairs. But hey, we'll be back to chit chat, Lord willing. So
that's right.
We'll see y'all next time.
See you next time. Have a good night. Bye.
Yes, bye y'all.
Bye.